What's going on, everyone? So it looks like we're getting a second Scream movie. Scream 7 isn't going to be it. It looks like we are getting a spin-off film per Production Weekly. You can see here, you got Untitled Scream spin-off feature film by Outer Banks Entertainment, status development producer Kevin Williamson. A spin-off of the Scream franchise centering on Hayden Panettiere's character, Special Agent Kirby Reed, the sole teenage survivor of the second Woodsboro murders, known as the Woodsboro Massacre Remake, the highest body count and most violent massacre of all Ghostface killing sprees. So, again, it appears that we are getting confirmation. There's been rumors about this for a while. I mean, there are rumors dating back to last season, or last Scream movie, right? Now, it was rumored to be a series, and it looks like it's going to be another movie. So I wonder if they're going to use the movie, right? So Kirby Reed, this confirms Kirby's going to be in Scream 7. So I wonder if they kind of use Scream 7 to kind of build more story, and then that bleeds into an actual film, and then that film leads into a series, right? That could be an approach that they take. Look, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I will take as many Scream films as you want to give me, as long as they are good Scream films, as long as they're not just like pure cash grabs. Now, of course, all movies are cash grabs. You're trying to make money off of them, but there's actual films trying to be successful, and then there's just blatant, this film was solely made for a cash grab, right? I don't want that. I don't want a Kirby Reed film just solely for a cash grab. If you can tell a good, convincing Kirby Reed movie, I'm with it, right? If you can build her character. I didn't like how they utilized her character in Scream 6. I don't think it had a need to be Kirby. I think that there's so many more questions than answers, right? But if you can now expand that, and you can now kind of have a film centered around Kirby to where maybe we do have some of those questions answered, and we do have, kind of this development of her character, then I'm all for it, right? One of the things that I feel has been really lackluster has just been the character development in the recent Scream films, right? Can we get back to telling stories based on the characters? Can we get back to really developing characters to the point where we actually want to see these characters? Because right now, outside of her being just Kirby Reed and Hayden Panettiere, right? What value do we have? Outside of, she was a fan favorite in Scream 4. She didn't really do much in Scream 6. She didn't really have you could have had anybody else be Kirby's character. Could have had some random person be the FBI agent that Kirby played. And it would have worked the exact same. There was no connection, no ties, no explanation, nothing that required it to be Kirby Reed. And so I hope that with this film we get that. But a couple key points that you may have noticed. One, it's being produced by Kevin Williamson. So Kevin Williamson is doing Scream 7, and he's going to do this little spinoff. So they must have Kevin Williamson. Kevin Williamson's clearly fully back into the fold, right? Kevin Williamson's clearly going to be the Kevin Feige type, right? So I'm excited for that. And look, I am so open to kind of have this expanded universe and develop these characters and build these characters and have series and movies. There's so much you can do with Scream. And the beauty of Scream is it's anybody. It's not a Michael. It's not a Jason. It's not a Freddy where it's just everything centers on this one specific person, right? No. Ghostface, you can have 15 different Ghostface. You could have a series, 3 movies, all this going on at once. I mean, you could be the Marvel of that and just have different characters and different, Ghostface villains and tell good, convincing stories. But that's the key. Good, convincing stories. You have good writing, good execution, good storytelling, right? Good direction, all of that. Kevin Williamson being at the helm. Another key thing you may have noticed is Spyglass doesn't seem to be attached to that. So, one, Spyglass owns the IP to Scream, and they purchased all that. So, it's very possible that they are attached to it. It's just not on that. Maybe they've sold the exclusive rights to Kirby's character individually. and the FBI agent, maybe Outer Banks is producing it, so that way, Spyglass stuff can focus on, the bigger films and stuff, and, supposedly there's still supposed to be a series, so maybe they're focusing on the series and the bigger stuff, right? Like, and that way you're not taking on too much at once. Like, okay, let this other production company handle it, right? So that's a possibility. Also, if I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, I don't believe they own the rights to Scream 4. I think they own 1 through 3, right? So they can use all the characters, right? But I don't think that they own the rights to Scream 4. I think it's just like 1 through 3. Because if I'm not mistaken, there was even like questions about Kirby Reed even being able to come back, period. Because it was like, she was in Scream 4. But regardless, right? Obviously, it's gotten worked out one way or another. Whether it's, to be fair, this adaptation of Kirby, right? Kirby Reed, the FBI agent, right? Like, that is created by them. So, it's Hayden Panettiere and all that stuff. So, I don't know what the legalities of that is, but they're not going to be doing this if it wasn't already approved and greenlit and all that stuff, right? Like, all of this is clearly worked out one way or another. So I imagine that they end up going forward with this film. You have the Scream, potentially do the series, all that stuff. Different hands in the pot. It is what it is. But again, at the end of the day, I want to focus on a quality picture, right? Give me a good film. Give me good storytelling. Give me good writing, right? Because there is, the idea of a FBI agent hunting and tracking down Ghostface is a really good idea. There's so many different ways and elements and things that you could do with that, right? Again, you could have this, every season is like a new story and a new Ghostface direction, and and you could do seasons like that forever, right? And have things tie into the actual films and stuff, right? Like, are they also kind of question, maybe this would be a good topic to kind of dedicate to an independent video. Are they setting up Kirby as the new sort of Sydney? Right? Like, does this, like, if the upcoming Kirby film is successful, and let's say they do another film or a series or whatever, do they now start weaning off of Sydney and thrusting Kirby into the spotlight? Because, that's what a lot of people wanted back then. A lot of people were like, man, make Kirby the final girl. Like, Kirby should have lived. Like, that should have been the one that takes over the mantle, right? And, even the original plans for Scream 5 was supposed to have Kirby and even Jill, and Kirby was supposed to kind of be that new face, that new final girl for Scream. So, I think that there's a lot of potential here for what you could do with Kirby Reed and just the storytelling, and just pumping out, several series and films and all that, right? Like, you can have the main story and then have like a Kirby story, right? Like, that could get you 2 films a year if you wanted to. You can make a new film with Kirby Reed and make a new film with like a new cast or a new story or whatever, right? Do a Kirby trilogy and do a Sydney and Gale trilogy, right? Now you're getting 2 movies a year, or maybe 1 movie in between. So the next 6 years, we got basically Scream content pumping out. Like, that could be fun. That could be really good. Right? They do a lot for just the franchise in general. But anyway, as always, this is the discussion, and I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you like this? Do you like that they're doing this Kirby spinoff? Do you think, like, a little silly? Do you want them to go a different direction? Would you be comfortable with them kind of making Kirby kind of the new face of Scream in a lot of ways? Do you still want a series? Right? Again, you could do a Kirby film, Sydney and Gale film, and then do a series that's just completely independent in and of itself. Right? Like, the potential's there. And like I said, I'm all for. I'll never complain about having too much Scream. But I also want it to be good. I'll complain about Scream if it's bad, but give me as much Scream just content as possible to consume. But anyway, again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. It's me enjoy these types of videos. Truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel. What are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next